was like 100 degrees when I started this review. It's hot. Every year it seems to get hotter. Global warming, voodoo curse, whatever, it's hot. We do take the big guy for granted. We need it, really. To warm our world, talk to our Teletubbies, dry our raisins. We'd miss the sun. But if the sun would just calm the F down for a little bit, that would be great. Director Danny Boyle, who brought us Zombies in 28 Days Later and Zombies in Trainspotting, gives us the sci-fi drama Sunshine. The sun is dying, the earth is freezing. That concludes the setup to this movie. The sun isn't quite dying, that's not due for a few billion years, but it is, in a sense, sick. The sun has been infected with a theoretical particle called a cue ball, which is disrupting the sun's ability to sun. The plan? Fly a nuclear bomb with the mass of Manhattan into the sun to blow up the cue ball. Because science. Obviously the US came up with this plan. This is the Icarus II, the ship hauling this big bomb to the sun. Cliff Curtis is Searle. He's in the observation room, a heavily filtered room where people can look at the sun somewhat safely. Ever been so bored you just stare at the sun? Me either, but this guy over here. And I'm blind. Whenever I see people in space gathered around a table eating, I can't help waiting for someone's chest to pop open. I actually get disappointed when everybody gets through dinner okay.
But if any of you planning on sending a final message home...
Just until we're on our way back. This isn't a suicide mission after all. Cillian Murphy is Kappa, the only bomb expert on board, sending a last message home from the Matrix. Michelle Yeoh is Corazon, botanist specializing in the ship's oxygen. No, the trip hasn't been that long, just a bit of tension between Kappa and Mace, ship's engineer played by Chris Evans.
Back up, man!
What's up?
I didn't realize it was taking so long.
We have an excess of manliness breaking out in the comm center.
I called him Scarecrow, he called me Fiery Fuckboy, and it got out of hand. Nothing that some prescribed holodeck time can't fix. I thought I ordered the brothel program? We bros? We bros. This is the Icarus II, which implies an Icarus I. They were on the same mission, carrying a similar bomb, but went missing 7 years earlier before completing the job. Hence the need for Icarus II. And guess what they happened to pick up? Distress call from the Icarus I. Even a slight detour to hook up with a probably long-dead crew only lengthens and endangers their mission. The decision has to be based on science rather than emotion, so they leave it up to their bomb expert.
2 last hopes is better than 1.
So you know what's cooler than 1 nuclear bomb the mass of Manhattan? 2 nuclear bombs with the mass of Manhattan. Alarms in space are never good. The ship relies on a big shield to protect themselves from the sun. As long as it's, pointed in the right direction. Kinda defeats the purpose otherwise.
I screwed up.
It's not you who screwed up, Trey.
It's my responsibility.
And sunlight at this range is sort of a big deal. That was the navigator's job, Trey, played by Benedict Wong.
I forgot!
We know. Hiroyuki Sanada is Captain Kaneda. I actually got through that with 1 take. Decides to survey the damage firsthand. Suit up. If you got a fart, do it now. Too late. You wore the gold one too? Well, one of us is gonna have to go back and change. Just as they start making repairs, more shit hits the fan. Their oxygen farm generates the air on the ship, and it catches fire. So there's that. Self-sacrifice in 2 minutes and counting. The captain finishes the repair, but it's not enough time to get back in. It's so bright out here, even the spacesuits are squinting. Damn it, I forgot my Ray-Bans!
But the oxygen garden is totally destroyed. In addition, a large amount of O2 was burned in the fire.
But, you know who might have oxygen? Icarus I.
The Icarus I is our only hope.
I think the movie really wants us to go there. Juice. By the way, if anyone wants to commit suicide to save air for the others, it would help out a lot. Any team players? Anyone? Anyone?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
They reach Icarus I for some hot docking action. Once on board the Event Horizon, the Icarus I, they don't find any signs of life.
We should split up. I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
Finally, someone with some sense. And if you pay attention, you can catch subliminal glimpses of the crew spliced in. If I see one Tyler Durden wiener, I'm out. It's dusty and they seem to have plenty of air, water, and food. Looks like Captain Pinbacker, played by Mark Strong, skipper of the Icarus I, went a little crazy towards the end.
It is not our place to challenge God.
Looks like he decided to scrap the mission, not vaccinate his kids, and stop wearing a mask. And the Icarus I's computer was sabotaged, y'all. This makes the entire vessel useless. Searle, played by Cliff Curtis, finds the crispy crew in their observation deck. I guess they forgot their sunblock. Our next disaster? The airlock fails. Well, explodes really, and they're unable to get back on the Icarus II.
We're screwed.
1 spacesuit, 4 crew members, priority goes to the bigger star, at least at this point. Using explosive decompression, space being a poor conductive insulator, and plot convenience, the plan is to blast themselves to the Icarus II and pray they make it before suffocating. So, let's get sucked out.
Correction, sir. That's blown out.
Alright, blown out. But someone has to stay back and work the door. Searle volunteers to stay behind and operate the airlock. Well, we lost Harvey. Anyone else do this? Whenever someone in a movie has to hold their breath, underwater or in space, whatever, I always instinctively hold my breath with them, and it's never as long as they do. Here, let's try this. Yeah, I'd be dead by now. So cold, so cold, so cold. Hot, 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 hot. Well, that was a pointless detour. Nothing left to do but see what all the fuss was about. Searle had a fascination with staring into the sun. So let's satisfy that obsession to the extreme. It's okay. Trey is still blaming himself, and the rest of the crew suspects he may have sabotaged the airlock. Because reasons.
And there was no malfunction on the airlock hardware.
Which means the airlock was decoupled manually.
Killing him would also reclaim some of that precious air.
If Trey dies, we'll have the oxygen to make it to the delivery point.
It's a hard decision to make.
Kill him.
Okay, maybe not that hard. Trey volunteers, involuntarily, to take one for the team. Yes, Trey! That's the kind of self-starter, proactive, go-getter attitude we've been looking for. You will be missed. Aw, I was looking forward to killing him. Looks like this didn't save much oxygen after all.
5 crew members.
They seem to have a stowaway.
Are you an angel?
It's either Captain Pinbacker or a young Anakin Skywalker. Looks like it's Captain Pinbacker. I do push-ups in bright sunlight to impress the chicks. He's horribly scarred by overexposure to the sun and still quite crazy.
Space. Madness. My God!
Great. Oh, I'm bleeding in the all-white room. My wife is gonna kill me. Let me in. No, you're all blurry and it's kind of freaking me out. Pinbacker tries sabotaging the main computer by removing it from the coolant. This seems like a dangerously flawed system. You're in space and your coolant relies on gravity? Hope is not all lost. I gotta get this to Wally fast. Ew, it's covered in Mark Watney's dung. Okay, now you can lose hope. Mace goes to get the computer back online from inside the freezing coolant. Let's talk shrinkage. He gets it done, but his leg is a little too thick, son. It looks like they're not going home, but they can still detonate the bomb and complete their mission. The bomb is actually like a big ship itself, so all they have to do is write it down Dr. Strangelove style. Now he's got to get on the bomb before it launches so he can set it off at the right time. Okay, slight miscalculation. Ow, I landed on my keys! I can do this. Gummy bear! But it still looks like we have a loose end. You know, not enough movies deglove their villains. Ah, why did I tan so much?
The mere push of a single button! The beautiful, shiny button!
It's so beautiful, peaceful, serene. It's so calming. Oh yeah, this is a nuclear bomb with the mass of Manhattan. With this much energy and gravitational force, time slows. so the most painful death you can think of is probably gonna take a few minutes. Hot, 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 hot. But at least it seemed to work. Earth reaps the benefits. But sorry, we overdid it, so it's back to global warming. Yay! That was Sunshine. The characters are very strong. There's no forced romantic subplots. There's tension between crewmen, but it's believable tension. They're all very flawed, very human characters, and that makes them very identifiable and sympathetic. Pinbacker's appearance can be interpreted as a stylistic choice. The on-screen characters would see him normally, but the audience is meant to see him as indistinct, warped, monstrous, chaotic. Or it's a scientific, cinematic choice. The last 7 years of solar radiation, isolation, and his mental breakdown manifested. In either case, seeing him, barely, in this state makes him less human, as well as superhuman. He is raw energy, emotion, intellect, red hot and ice cold simultaneously. Space is portrayed here as very dangerous, which of course it is. Even sunlight, which we take for granted because of our atmosphere, makes it just simple tan-granting illumination. Out in space, it's a fierce, terrifying force of nature. Most movies hide dangers in the dark, but here, the light is dangerous. The danger is visible right in front of you. The effects are top-notch. Seamlessly blending sets, practical effects with CGI. It's effects heavy, but it's never distracting. You can see a direct influence from movies like 2001, Dark Star, Alien. This might make it appear derivative on the surface, but the execution stands out with a very grounding, visceral style. The set design is practical and believable, mostly, but it feels like a space vessel. Great performances, the crew had good chemistry as well as good tension. I could buy them as a tight-knit crew that's been together a long time. That's still silly, only one crew member was trained on how to activate the bomb. You'd think, since that was their entire endgame of their mission, they would do a little cross-training. This movie is what happens after a disaster film. It's not even a man-made disaster, so no real message here. The event already happened, so now we're trying to deal with it. The story is a perilous journey, having one obstacle thrown at our crew after another. It's gripping to see this crew whittled down. The final twist into a predictable, slasher, murderous monster plotline spoils it slightly, but I was still entertained. You still have to suspend disbelief anyway if you're going to watch a movie kickstarting the sun with a bomb. That's like nuking a hurricane, which, how silly is that? The sound design is immersive, it sets the atmosphere, and helps sell the environment. It's a slow burn, pardon the pun, but it's still a good build-up to a satisfying end. It is thrilling, and you do get a sense of danger and isolation, and the stakes are huge. The fate of the mission, which is the fate of the entire world, is on the shoulders of this one guy. Cross-train. Spread it out. Sunshine is 4Bs, a solidly entertaining space thriller with great performances and characters. In the end, nuclear weapons save the world. Go figure. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment the bell, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. This is theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles!